Well, so we're not without our own difficulties at the moment, and we do work very hard to be a pretty transparent organisation, and quick to acknowledge that we do have a lot of issues, and genuinely, if we don't put them on the table, then certainly Senate estimates gets there pretty shortly afterwards. So it is really important to do that. We have a whole lot of people designing ways that we can get into the organisation, all the way from unacceptable behaviour hotlines for crisis response and support of our particular individuals, through to 360-degree leadership surveys of key leaders. We have an organisational response to, we go into units. They do a Your Say survey, which is conducted at least every 24 months, so that we can really clearly understand leadership effect on the performance of those particular units. And we have been doing this for about 10 to 12 years now, and are starting to gather some pretty impressive data sets, which allows us to plot progress of organisation, leadership alignment, any sort of dissonance, difficulties in command, climate, the response of the performance of the organisation, because we capture assessment and certification data as well on those organisations. So we've got a lot of very clever people looking at designing the necessary sort of feedback loops to understand how these are having an effect in our organisations. We're a big bureaucratic organisation. There is a lot of inertia and friction in that particular understanding. But we are fundamentally a leadership organisation. If that part of it's not going well, then we're likely to let the country down, and that's not something that we're keen on doing.
I think that it's really important that we've all are able to say to you, the public, the community, that there are many, many formal ways of taking the temperature of the organisation. But I think one of the other things, and I know that Paul does this because I've seen him at work, and I know his rapport with his teams, and that is getting out yourself and talking to your teams, talking to those people at from the junior constable right up to the assistant commissioner for an area in my parlance, and just seeing how they're going, checking that temperature. But probably the most important is to be out there with the public and make yourself available. And that's why I love social media, because they can be anywhere. In fact, I've got one guy in Western Australia who often tells me about how good or how not so good the Queensland Police is, about issues that happens. But what I'm getting at is that you've got to have a range of different ways that you test the temperature, and then you've got to have ways of bringing all of that information together so that you're not unconsciously reading it the wrong way.
360-degree feedback in the church, that's like a foreign language. But it's the journey of accountability. Can I leave you with a quick thought? The other day, a clergyman did not renew his blue card, didn't remember to, didn't think to, or just was a delay. The leadership of the church suspended his faculties, his ability to operate as a cleric instantly because of that. And that might seem like a very down in the weeds point, but the fact that leadership were watching and wanting to be accountable even on that level told me and many other clerics who were discussing it that the scrutiny is on and we need to be accountable, blue carded, go to the right professional development and have supervision. But it started with a guy being suspended for a week because he was a week late getting his blue card, and that gave me hope that if leadership just said, there's nothing to see here, he hasn't got a blue card, we just assume he's going to get one, we don't really care, or worse, not even worse, that affect words, not even discussing it, that would be a slippery slope. We've been on a lot of those. But the fact that he was suspended from doing his work immediately gave me some hope. There's a lot more work to be done. I think I'll stop there.
All I would add is complexity theory. You don't know what's going to happen. It's a complex problem, needs a complex solution, needs a whole range of different things. Some of them aren't going to work, some of them will work. But it's a it's a blend, a portfolio of approaches that hopefully the what is it? The total is greater than the sum of the parts. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a great dialogue today about leadership and ethics. And I guess, why do we do it? Why do we do leadership and ethics? I would hope it's to make decisions that make the world a better place. And that's the challenge for us all. Please join me in thanking General McLaughlin, Commissioner Ian Stewart, Reverend Peter Demis-Mears, and Dr. Alistair Peake.